everybody.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Will, and we are...
Working Title!
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Mark.
I'm Steven
With a V. Y'all, we are back. This is Season 1, Episode 3 of MoonKnight, called The Friendly Type. Last on, boys, what happened?
We got to meet Layla, who is trying to file divorce with Mark Spector, which is the name of what we assume to be the real name of Stephen Grant.
Yeah.
Stephen gets captured by Arthur, and Arthur supposedly was an avatar for Khonshu before Stephen/Mark.
Yeah. Stephen threw on the suit for the first time in his own attempt and had a little sleek looking build to him. Didn't last long, gave it back to Mark. Mark to Pierce the Jackal. And it looks like Mark is doing all of this so that Stephen can live his own happy life after the conclusion of Annette's death?
To prevent Annette's resurrection.
Lack of resurrection.
And to make sure that Layla does not become the next avatar for Khonshu.
And they're in Giza right now.
Yeah.
So, y'all, if you enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content. If you want to see some of our videos weeks in advance, we have a Patreon available for you. That would be Full Metal, that would be Arcane, and that would also be
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. And also, we just have a Discord if you want to talk to us about all things nerd. We have that available for you as well. Most importantly, go and support this show on Disney Plus, and then come back and watch your boys. We're gonna punch it.
Arrow has it.
We'll find another way. We'll get to Annette's tomb first.
Let's go! I'm ready to see Egypt. Oh.
And then I found him with the scarab, living 20 minutes from our old place.
They're forging it.
Yeah, that was fake.
I'm not worried about any bridges. All those stolen relics.
I don't steal. They've already been stolen. That's what people forget. I take them off the black market and return them to their rightful owners.
Okay.
I might
So that's
get
her deal.
I wonder what your father would think of his little scarab now.
We'll never know.
You think his dig sites were any place for a child?
That's what I was
This
asking.
isn't the
Will.
mom, right?
Archaeologist.
She's like is she an
big
archaeologist?
mess of obsessive bookworms.
Archaeology.
And forging a freaking passport's pretty complicated. I feel like every desert film I watch is always on this like same mountain, this like hilltop.
It's probably the one place that everyone can film that's actually like...
Without getting in legal trouble or something.
Yeah.
This is your cliff. Your one cliff. Don't go to that cliff. Don't go to that.
Oh, yeah, this is like from Transformers.
You know what I mean?
I mean, in fairness, these all look pretty
They all look the same.
the same.
I know.
It's hard to tell.
I'm just messing.
Jeez, that dude's like, what the fuck is he doing?
International cult activity.
I'll expect his car is tracking us.
We know you filmed on the other mountaintop.
Just to say, when this god gets resurrected, she's gonna save your ass.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Isn't that how most movies like that happen?
Well, what's gonna happen is the second to last episode, Anna's gonna be... Oh my gosh. Anna's gonna be released, and then they're gonna stop it, so we get to see a little teensy bit of it.
I need to talk to that guy.
Scary too.
Oh, wow. Nancy, we fight what we do.
That's a kid.
Yeah.
Smack him in the face.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. So Mark's got some of his own moves without the MoonKnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what do you think, it's an anime or something? We ain't got time for all that.
No emoting.
Oh, dude, that was so close.
Whoa.
Mark. Don't do it, Mark. Stop me.
Steven! Oh. I was like, don't take over, you dummy! Wait. Steven got Mark to the car?
Where are you taking me? Airport.
Oh my gosh, did Steven like talk to them?
Just let us go, man. That wasn't me. Let me talk to you for a second.
Maybe Steven warned him like, hey, this dude will kill you. You gotta run away. If he comes back, he's gonna beat your ass.
It's just kicking their ass though.
I know, but I think Steven took over. Let them escape.
Where's Harold? Tell me. Mark. Mark. That's enough.
Dude, every time. Oh, God.
Oh. Steven just killed. Wait, whoa.
Steven, what did you do? I swear that wasn't me. Then who was it?
Oh my gosh, okay. So other people.
Oh, there's other
Other
personalities.
versions. Damn. I was gonna say, I didn't think Steven would kill.
Take him to the ledge.
He's just a kid.
He'll talk.
Where's Harold? Praise on it.
Oh! Damn.
I thought he'd talk.
Khonshu's such an asshole, dude.
Look at him.
What about the other gods? Are they just gonna stand by and allow somebody to unleash Amit?
To signal for an audience with the gods is to risk their wrath.
Shit.
Right, well, what's the worst that can happen?
Hail,
And with
fire,
enough,
tsunamis, natural
Sounds so bad to
disasters.
me.
see how you fare against Harrow without the protection of my healing armor.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
so what?
Okay.
You have any good ideas?
I have a bad one.
Oh no. What are we about to witness?
Sending the gods a signal they can't ignore.
Instead of the bat signal, you just solar eclipse. Damn. Everybody who does the weather's like, this was not supposed to happen for months.
No matter what happens, keep digging!
Yikes.
Not stop! I'm about to be called upon. It's a bit over the top, don't you think?
Hurry! They're gathering the Revators now.
They're
What?
avatars.
All over the world.
Whoa. Dude, this is about to get really cool.
Last time I spoke to the gods, they banished me.
That's all that trash talking you do, Khonshu.
Imagine Steven's the one that has to deal with this.
I want to know who the other avatars are.
Our days were inside. We're inside the great pyramid again, so...
Wow. Damn. It's beautiful. Really creepy
You
though.
actually go inside those things?
You could take tours, but it doesn't take you to places like that.
Oh shit, there they all are. Oh god.
Khonshu's theatrics are unparalleled.
Damn, there they all are. Oh. Imagine we just saw like a Marvel character we didn't know was an avatar the whole time.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
Oh,
God.
really? Is there something I should know?
Like cat
I try
dance or
not to
something.
fight it. It's a strange sensation. But you'll get used to
I would
it.
hate that.
Me too.
Whoa.
You've been banished once for nearly exposing us, Khonshu.
I bet it's
And you know we
Steven.
despise your garishness.
I think it's Khonshu
Your
himself.
showy masks and weapons. But manipulate the sky again, and
Yeah.
we will imprison you in stone.
It's the gods themselves.
your self-righteous threats!
Yeah.
I was banished for not abandoning humanity unlike the rest of you.
Damn.
We decided long ago we did not wish to meddle.
Just like the Eternals.
I call for judgment against Arthur Harrow!
The charges?
Damn.
Conspiracy to release Ahmed!
You can just summon him like that?
Shit!
That's probably why he was telling all his guys to keep working.
Conscious current. I must admit I do not miss the sound of that voice. But if visiting the sands where crime, the line of sinners would be longer than the Nile.
Damn.
His vision is obscured by jealousy, paranoia, and he is a deceiver! Do not trust
Poor
the word
Oscar,
that's
that's it.
shame. This is a man who literally does not know his own name. He has a marriage certificate under the name Mark Spector. Employment records under the name Stephen Grant. I've seen him speak to himself. Shut up! Threaten himself. I have no idea how many personalities.
We might get that third person showing back up.
Man is clearly insane.
We will not tolerate violence in this chamber.
Concho is taking advantage of him. The same way that he abused me.
How did you get out of it,
The
though?
way he aspires to abuse this court.
Oh my god.
Are you unwell?
Shit.
This is a safe space for you to tell us if you feel exploited by Khonshu.
This is not about my feelings. I'm not the one on trial here. He is.
He has committed no offense.
Say he has the scarab or
This
something.
matter is concluded.
What?
What's kind of funny is Sparrow's getting away with not having done anything yet, but he kills people. Yeah, he kills people because of things they will do in the future.
Yeah. What the fuck was Khonshu thinking? I don't understand. Like, what was his plan here?
I don't know.
You must listen to me carefully. Amit was buried in secret, the location hidden even from the gods. Amit had many followers. They didn't know who to trust.
Someone had to know something.
One man, a Magi named Senfu. He was
Ah,
tasked with
Magi.
find Senfu's sarcophagus and you'll find your tomb.
Okay, how am I supposed to do that?
His sarcophagus was stolen and sold on the black market. You might want to start there.
Well, you know just who to talk to for that one.
So what exactly are we going to do here? What's the plan?
Oh. It's not pleasant being left in the dark, is it?
Love the colors of this place.
Yeah.
I've heard that since it's our wedding.
Mark's a bit stiff.
I could have told
It
you.
is.
You know, what it's been like for you. About Stephen.
For what it's worth, I had her under control until very recently.
What happened?
Yeah, finally. Let us know.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, come on, man. Open up.
We could have handled it together.
So he's had multiple personalities before, but he's been suppressing them until episode 1.
I guess. Or,
That's
well,
not really
before
what I
episode
do,
1.
Yeah.
Steven's gonna barge in and ruin this whole gig. I can already call it.
Or the third one.
What we got.
That's beautiful. My gosh. I don't know if that's the Nile, but imagine having a mansion on the Nile.
It's been a while.
Good to see you. He's looking forward to seeing you. After Madripoor, I'm sure you two will have a lot to talk.
Magipore.
Magipore?
Magipore.
Isn't that
Excuse me for a moment.
Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Exotic place?
Yeah, which place is it in what is that? Magipore?
That's where they found the,
backyard for fun.
No, he
Isn't that
gets
Zemo took
private
them there?
lessons by the best.
I like the room.
Wow, look at this.
Come in.
Thank you for having us over on such short notice.
Oh, please. I hope you realize you didn't
Just
know
give
this
him a nod like something.
He looks like one of the guys who tried to
Sense of
overthrow Danny
responsibility
in
that
Marine.
You alone are able to enjoy.
One of the masters.
Yeah, the one that they let live.
This guy's got more of a chiseled muscle face.
He's younger.
Please just let Stephen out.
Oh, I was gonna say, Steven's probably gonna be great to have here. He'll know all this stuff.
Oh, the burial practices are in line with the Stundenwachen time.
What about Steven? Come on.
It's legit.
Swap
Dude,
it.
actually, he needs you right now.
Yeah, this is perfect. What that shit is.
Steven will know.
Mark's just a bit too stiff. Like, I feel like Steven will at least even have fun here.
Alright, Stephen. Okay, you want to talk to me? Talk to me. What now?
What now? What now is you give me the body and you piss off.
No.
We'll take that first piece and fold it over the middle piece.
Oh,
I don't think you should touch this.
You should not touch this. Oh my god.
Should make a starch.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh. Oh.
Get on your knees.
Anton, stop!
Get on your knees.
Was he gonna shoot him in front of this thing? Oh.
Whatever they've told you, I'm sure I can offer you something much more tangible. You keep thinking that distance will prevent the wounds from your father's murder from reopening.
Yikes.
But something stands in your way. Your husband doesn't tell you the truth.
Did Mark kill?
You don't
Remember
tell
the lineup of
because
people
you
he
know
shot?
that if you do, she'll see you exactly as you see yourself.
Oh god.
100%. He had to have been one of the diggers.
Pit in hunter. To act. Hammer out.
Oh shit! Is he bring back to life?
It's just a taste of the godly power I
Just eviscerated it. It's gone. It's gone.
Hey, he's gone. Where is he?
Oh gosh.
Oh damn.
I didn't even realize the way in which his wings flap up in the moon. It's awesome. Nice.
Buy me some time.
I can do that.
Damn.
Oh.
I love its fit. The gold complements the white so much. Hell yeah, Layla.
Beat his ass. Oh god.
Oh.
Oh jeez.
Oh god.
Oh, he stabbed the baby.
Damn.
Give me the body, Mark.
Why?
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Alright.
No doubt.
You alright?
That's it. Alright, time out. That's it, time out. Guys, let's all calm down, yeah? We're all worked up. Let's all just like chill the F out.
Oh shit.
Take the body.
He said, take the body.
That was not good, Steven. Damn. Oh. I really wish to stab the other guy on the other side. Yes.
She got some handmade knives.
Oh!
Damn.
Good.
That it wasn't just a moon accessory.
Awesome. Shoot that guy. Hell yeah. Oh, this bitch.
Just converted this guy like it was nothing.
Yeah, weak-willed. Fuck!
Going after Layla.
Good luck.
Yeah, right in the back.
He ain't dead.
I hope he is. Now move into this house. Whoa.
Tick tock, Mark Spector. Tick tock.
Buzz off.
Most useless, like, person ever. Khonshu.
No, it's not true. Of course not. No, you just want to divide us. Don't let him get in your head.
I don't know.
Every time I learn something new about you, I think that's it. There can't possibly be any secrets left between us. And then something else pops up, and it's like I've not known you at all.
Yeah,
Oh,
you haven't.
it's kind of depressing as hell, man.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any whole constellations. It's just little pieces and fragments.
Just let Steven take over.
Yeah, seriously.
We need Steven.
Yeah.
You do the fighting.
It's all of this. I really think it's worth giving it a shot.
Let's see Steven decipher.
All right, go ahead. You're in.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Alright.
You're in.
I like Steven.
Me too.
Steven?
Oh, he like loves her too. It's so funny.
Egyptians invented modern navigation. Oh wait, hang on a minute. You see that? You see those little...
It's like
pinpricks
constellations.
there? That's a constellation.
Yeah.
We should be able to triangulate the stars into coordinates, right? We just...
Sorry, hold on. I just gotta follow the pigeon real quick.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can turn back the night sky.
Really?
It will come at a cost, and I cannot do it alone. When the gods imprison me, tell Mark to free me.
Oh, shit. So they were yelling at him for turning the sun across the moon, or whatever that was, the moon in front of the sun.
Messing with the elements.
Yeah. Influencing.
Do what I do.
Oh my gosh, can you just flip it?
Milky Way!
Oh, wow. Oh, I feel like it's so dangerous. Woo! Whoa! Everybody can see it? Holy moly.
This is the night.
Holy
Oh, see that? That's the constellation. That's what Khonshu was doing.
Yeah. Holy moly. Damn. See ya, Khonshu. Wait, does that mean we lose MoonKnight too?
I think so.
I got it! 29 degrees north, 25 east. Steven! Mark! Come on.
Of course, this fucker's right around.
You were right about Khonshu.
Oh, this dude is sneaks and tattles.
And
Oh, he's with the gods.
Yeah, they liked him more.
he's tethered to this place, like many before him.
Oh, so all the ones that didn't show up, all the gods that didn't, are the ones who are imprisoned here?
Remember, he was... Oh, I don't know.
Oh, God.
What, the
The
glass?
glass.
Yeah, you can hear it every scene that he's walking. It's
Ugh.
awful.
Gosh.
What happens if he just breaks it?
I feel like it would let him out.
Yeah, I think it's just a tiny prison.
And when it's finished, I want you to remember one thing. Your torment forced me.
Damn.
I owe my victory to you.
That was episode 3, The Friendly Type of MoonKnight. Initial thoughts.
Another solid episode. I feel like the show is just progressively getting like wilder and wilder in a good way.
Bizarre for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed I just liked being in Egypt the whole time. You know, the addition of the gods and their avatars was cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like Mark's just more complex than I would have cared to think about originally. You know what I mean? He just seems like there's a lot more to him than just we don't even really understand his backstory, who he is, what other than the fact that he almost died. That's really it, and that he has multiple personalities inside of him that he's dealing with. Clearly more than Steven.
Yeah. It looks like the third personality is a bit more of a troublesome person, considering he's shanking people left and right.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a thing where it's Steven finally taking charge, and the reason the guys were able to escape was because Steven just said, hey, you gotta run. Mark's going to come back, and when he does, you might not get mercy this time. And if it wasn't Steven, I wonder why the third person let them go? Or if they just ran away, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because they were fighting on the roof, and then they were able to escape from whoever took over.
What if Steven took over and left? because they all went to the hospital to get treated
for the first time.
The first time, because remember the taxi driver's like, "You told me to take you to the airport. What are you talking about?" Like Steven was trying to leave,
and
then Mark takes over, fights those guys. He's unconscious, and then when he wakes back up, all of them are dead except for that one kid.
That's the only time the third person interfered.
Maybe. I mean, like, then maybe it happened another time. We don't know.
Your thoughts?
I'd like to see what is happening to the other person when they switch. If that makes sense. Like Mark is clearly defending himself, and then Steven swaps, and like he said, we're now heading to the airport. I'd like to see what Steven was doing while Mark is defending. If that's even like a thing. I don't know.
I mean, it is a thing, but like we said, he hopped in a car, let them go, and was planning on going to the airport.
I'd still like to see those scenes.
We technically
I'm not a
got
huge fan of the jump.
We got it today, though. They switched over. It was simple as that when he said, "All right, take everybody."
It's okay.
It's literally that. The jump literally signifies that that was the last time that person had the ability to like see clearly. I think the jump is like, because we got in episode 1 and it was always Steven getting taken over by Mark. We didn't see what happened with Mark. This time around it was Mark being taken over by Steven, but we'd come back to Mark's perspective of it.
The camera's about to die, but yeah, last episode we actually did see the scenes. Like, if Mark and Steven were switching places, we actively watched it the whole time. And it's the same thing where he goes, and then we actually watch it. This episode, I guess they were just trying to do the flip of Mark, because now we know that Mark is the real person. To our knowledge, who knows? Maybe Mark is a split personality of like the real Oscar Isaac has been hidden away for 20 years.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
And now
but
there's possibly a third.
Yeah, there's possibly a third, but I think the whole reason that we skip those is to make the confusion of like, or for the audience to feel the confusion of like, wait, so there's more than just Steven and Mark. Now there might be a third person that we don't know. I mean, their attitude, who they are, what they feel.
It's 100% confirmed because Steven and Mark both said it wasn't me. So there's definitely more people contending with. I'm just saying, I don't think it's like a huge loss that we're missing out, because I think it's an intentional thing to make us question what happened in those moments. But some of them are like, they're pretty straightforward. I mean, Mark wakes up, or Steven wakes up outside a castle in the mountains, and people are shooting guns at him because he stole the compass. He wakes back up and he's on a bus. It's because he killed the people on the way to the bus, and then he wakes up back at home. It's because he survived. It's that's all just mystery stuff. I don't think we're really not missing anything in terms of, and like even today, like I was saying, we got the transition sequence after Mark gave up his will to Steven to take over and do the puzzle, and it's just a transition. But all we are missing out on is the fact that Mark, as soon as he gives it over to Steven, will not know what's happening until he cuts back in, or until Steven talks to him again.
But it shows. It also it kind of helps give like perspective to the audience, because as a whole, we don't know how Mark is experiencing Steven's life. We don't know how Steven experienced Mark's life. When it seems like they kind of only can chime in if like there is like a, because Mark last episode said that it's really hard to muster the energy to even present yourself in like a reflection, and it's like almost impossible to do it just to be a fly on the wall. So like, unless there is something that like you can physically embody, like a mirror or something, Steven is MIA.
Yeah.
So, but with this episode, it kind of gives us the perspective, like, oh shit, so like, when somebody takes over, like, Mark quite literally has, like, no recollection, no control, just like Steven did in the first episode.
Yeah. I just realized to myself, Mark might be honest about not remembering the things that Hera was talking about. Like, when Hera was coming in confronting everybody about, oh, well, just wait till you learn what the things Mark has done.
Because it might be that third person.
It might be the third person who did the executions at the dig site.
Yeah.
So,
because Mark did hold back when he was fighting those three guys on the rooftop. When he saw the kid, he was like, he like reeled for a punch and he was like, and smacked them instead. You know what I mean?
Steven
Like,
stopped him.
well, no,
that was
Steven stopped him with the knife because he was going to cut his throat. Mark, and on his own will, didn't want to hit the kid.
Yeah,
that's why.
Well, even when Khonshu said to put him on the cliff, he was like, "He's just a kid."
Yeah. So we know that Mark has like a little bit of some self-control when it comes to being violent. He is not like all out insane, which again, another reason why Khonshu's taking advantage of him, because there's probably a personality in there that is willing, willing to go all out, no holes barred.
It's like 3 levels: the
non-violent,
the heroic, the stoic one who will like commit justice, but might affect people, but has like a moral code, and then the one who has no moral code takes justice into his own hands.
I don't know anything about what split personality disorder or whatever
it's called. Yeah,
he has. So I don't I don't know how to word this. I like Mark more than Steven because it seems like Mark is trying to. His task is to put a stop to Khonshu because he wants to save his ex-wife. Where Steven just wants to live his own life, I'm assuming. Where it's said that Steven is the person, or this episode is now, we don't know if Steven, or I'm sorry, if Mark is the
guy.
The guy.
Yeah.
I think, if I had to guess...
I don't know, I don't know anything about this mental disorder. I don't know if they can be put on medication and shut Steven off and just have Mark, or...
Well, Mark had it implied like he had it under control for a while.
But recently...
Yeah, but recently he's lost it a little bit, which maybe that's the whole him accident, like if he lost control at one point. Like maybe, because, okay, this is as much as we know. Khonshu had him and he was almost dead and brought him back to life and took over his body. So what if when he took over his body, because he was on the brink of death, he lost control. The third person took over, who's like this really violent one, did all the killing of the archaeologists, killed, Layla's father and like all the people that he was with. Then, everything gets settled. Mark comes back and eventually realizes, oh shit, I'm the one that did that. And maybe that's like what spiraled him out of control. I don't know. Because, it just seems like that's where it's leading, is that he was the one that committed that act.
Yeah, it could be the pressure of the task of being the Moon Knight that's made it very hard to keep the personalities and...
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. It's got to be Khonshu.
Yeah.
It's got to be Khonshu. Because this seems like it's a recent thing that Khonshu took over him.
Yeah, so...
Relatively recent, yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, Mark is the original one. Because he's lived at least a good portion of his married life, being married. And I would assume that's before his death. The death might have been, a very quick thing. And then, if they're at a burial site, maybe Khonshu just went into the person who died right in front of him, which would be Mark. So maybe Mark was the original person. Before he met Layla, maybe already had his condition under control, because she never knew about it. She learned about it today, or about Steven specifically today. So maybe Mark and her just lived their own life, lived together, but he kept his secrets. Maybe they separate. It looked like maybe they were both in Egypt, because they have some ties to Egypt. He might have gone to a dig site with the father.
Yeah,
Khonshu. Maybe it was like a rock fall, everything started falling. I don't know. Well, we don't know
that's my next question. Why did Khonshu take over Mark?
We're not sure.
Okay.
We just know that it chose him because he was either near death or died, and we know that at a Egyptian burial site he shot people.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Why he took over.
Yeah, it seems like Khonshu, they needs an avatar, because Harrow was
the original.
The original, but the prior one, yeah. So, and like we saw later in the episode with all the gods, they have to have...
Just to observe.
Avatars to exist in this world, but...
Just to observe the world?
Well, they observe... Khonshu's banished from their, god realm, whatever that... I don't know, Overvoid or whatever they call it.
Overvoid, yeah.
But he's banished from there, so he's, actively living on Earth. through his avatar, whereas the rest of them, they're just observing.
Pop back into their host.
Because humanity abandoned them. So they're just... They said, the one that had the Irish accent, I don't know which god that was supposed to be, but he said, like, we're just here to observe. The avatars are just here to observe and enact our will on the world still. So I'm like, what do they do? You know what I mean? Like, what have they been, like, actively doing?
What's enacting your will entail? Because it seems like when Khonshu enacts his will, it's a no-go. Like, I would say he's enacting his will when he's scrolling the skies like an iPhone, because he's choosing that this is what...
Well, but they seem to, like, be playing, like you said, like with the Eternals, like I haven't seen the movie, but I kind of gotten the gist about it, is that they let humanity decide how humanity is going to live and not affect reality. Not saying the Eternals are doing that, but I'm saying these gods have said the humans will live life as they wanted. They didn't want us anymore. They stopped worshiping and caring about us. So we're going to let them do their world how they want it. We're not going to cause floods. We're not going to do the eclipse. We're not going to do any of that stuff. And that, it seemed like they had made a rule amongst themselves, like, we're not doing that. That's why it was when Khonshu did that. I was like, you dumb fuck. If you do this again, you're put in stone at that point.
And I don't mean to circle back to what I was talking about earlier.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around, like, Mark is literally fighting for his life, and then Steven will jump in and it just fuck up everything. And I'm thinking that it's because he doesn't want to be a killer or a murderer, which that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. But also, this person's fighting for their life. Like, why not let him finish? And then, like, and that's the other thing. This entire episode, it was like, oh, let him take over. Let him take over. If you let him take over, he won't give it back. But then we've had episodes where it's just happened. So, can he not take over, or can he forcibly take over?
Well, it seems like that, like, at least in the beginning of the show, that Steven had control until he fell asleep.
Yes.
That because Mark was actively like, I'm taking over now. You're asleep. I found, like, you don't have will anymore. So because you don't have will to live, or like an active will over your body, I'm going to jump in and take over. So the reverse, that was Steven holding out Mark. So it must be the same thing for Mark, where it's like, hey, as long as I, like, stay mentally strong and, like, not allow, because the other times that's all happened where they've swapped has been like getting hit in the head, getting knocked out,
being, like, super frantic and scared.
Yeah, like when they're not, like, locked in up here, that's when the other person takes over.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that's the only reason as to, like, why that happens.
In the last episode too, when Steven was stuck in the mirror, Mark was saying that the transition used to be equal. Like, it seemed like both Steven and Mark could interchangeably take over when they wanted, but something changed where it's become a lot harder for it, and the balance seems to sway sometimes in one's preference or the other's. So maybe, like, that's why we're seeing this, like, battle where Steven gets strong enough in his will to steal Mark's body and enact no violence, and then hosts it back over to Mark when he realizes he's messed up, like in the jousting ring.
You also gotta remember from last episode too, is that Steven learned that Mark murdered all these people. Like murdered archaeologists that were normal, good people. They weren't Harrow's people, whatever. Mark's never really gotten a chance to explain what happened there. So that's also why Steven is like, bro, just stop. You're gonna fucking kill, like, you're gonna kill a kid unintentionally.
I understand that, but at the same time, he's defending himself. These guys are coming at him with knives, and then he's gonna jump in and like, he could get killed.
Yeah, but still, like, it's one of those things where clearly Mark doesn't have enough control to stop himself from just killing one person. Like, Mark takes over, and a whole building is destroyed, and 15 people are murdered by the end of it. Mm-hmm. And, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, if your initial observation is that the first killing that we know that Mark has done has been innocent people, then, like, even if it's, like, the people, you know what I mean? Like,
we also don't know what Steven is seeing, too, when he says, I want to take over, because it's so hard to be the fly on the wall. the spectation might be him like hearing Mark fight, and he might be like, no, I gotta stop this guy, and not realizing that he's doing something heroic.
That's a good point.
Because he also could just be like a pacifist, like Batman's rule of not killing people. You know what I mean? Mark clearly is capable of just beating anyone up to a pulp without needing to resort to like fatal wounds. But like he's going out of his way to like fucking slit the dude's throat. I mean, like he didn't need to kill.
There's true, but you also did bring up that he just decided to slap the kid. So there is some resistance.
But Steven doesn't know that.
Right.
Exactly. It's the limited knowledge.
Steven perceives him as a murderer, whereas like Mark might know that he's not actually, or even that he didn't do those specific things. Maybe it was another personality.
So now I'm thinking there was the room that the storage room where he found American ID and a gun that possibly isn't Mark, but also Mark has all these good skills of combat. Maybe that's a third or a different personality.
Yeah.
Well, Mark can definitely hold his own for sure. I mean, he was fighting with that the MoonKnight in the first half on the rooftops against 3 guys.
If I'm just thinking, if you have a military-esque, that's how you described it to me, a military-esque storage unit. Oh, fuck, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, Mark's a mercenary for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark's a mercenary. We don't know, other than that, what his life entailed, except his wife is an archaeologist, and maybe he
slaughtered the archaeologist.
Had a tag. Yeah, I don't know how that works. But just one more thing too, like the mirrors seem to be like where they're best able to
deal with each other,
and then other than that, it seems like it's only maybe a voice spectation, because when Steven was at his house, he heard Mark whispering into his ear, Steven. And then it was only until like the mirror that they were like looking at each other. Huh?
Yeah, but even then, it seems like he can't communicate with him unless there's something that brings a reflection around.
Yeah.
Because like in his house, when he was hearing that, he was hearing that from the bathroom and towards the fish tank where the reflection was. Whereas like when he was standing on the hood of the car at nighttime, there's no reflection off the window. He's like, he's not hearing Steven say anything, but he hears Steven, or he doesn't hear Steven on the boat as well. But when he's in that like glass pyramid that held the sarcophagus, he could hear Steven talking and looked up and saw him.
He should just have a mirror with him at all times.
True,
but I don't think he wants that.
A little makeup mirror, a little pop open one.
I was thinking that too.
The makeup mirrors, yeah.
And just from my perspective, I don't think Mark is a bad guy, even though he has done some pretty shady shit. So I just don't see why Steven would try to stop him. That's just
once again, it's the lack of knowledge we're talking about. Okay. It's only the confusion that Steven only has limited knowledge about Mark.
I'm sorry for dwelling on it. I'm just trying to understand the show.
Well, you gotta remember too.
I'm still not super invested in this.
Well, Steven,
invested or understanding?
Both.
Okay.
Steven a week ago was a normal guy working at a museum.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he has this isn't like Tom Holland growing up, watching the Avengers, trying to be a superhero, getting his powers,
he's just
learning to beat dudes up. Like, this is a dude that was a fucking nerd who was trying to hit on, like, the tour guide at the museum.
Yeah.
Like, if you grabbed a clerk from a frickin', like, you know, a register, a cashier, somebody, and were like, hey man, by the way, when you fall asleep, there's a guy inside who just goes around fucking killing people and is a mercenary. You'd be like, whoa, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, if I woke up and I was just like in Cairo and I had like a knife in my hand and like a kid on the other hand, I'd be like a 19-year-old or 18-year-old, however.
Well, that's what I was saying.
That's like, what?
That's what I was saying. That you have to imagine he was like out of his mind when he walked into the storage unit and just saw everything titled to him. Because that's like confirmation.
But it wasn't even his name.
That's like confirmation enough that something's wrong with you, buddy. Like,
yeah.
And that has to be so like mind warping. And then when he got in the car with the fake police that said, yeah, you basically just shot a whole row of people or something, execution style. It's enough to be like, well, there's only one other personality talking to me. It must be Mark. Even though Mark's saying it's not what I think it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Mark might be aware of the other personalities because it seems like he's keeping everything to himself.
True.
We don't know.
I don't know why I'm thinking of it, and this would be the breakdown part of this, but when Steven stopped Mark from killing those dudes on the top roof, there were 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just 2.
The third one popped back up.
He did?
Yeah, and so when when he gets out of the taxi, he sees
the young kid
and the dude with the long hair and the beard. And then when he chased him down that alleyway, and he starts punching him in the gut, and he's like, has his hands on his throat.
Where's Harold?
You hear Mark say, Steven say, like, chill out. The guy that hit him in the back of the head, it was the other guy.
Okay.
Because then...
I thought the third person took over and slaughtered him then and there.
No, because then when he wakes up again and he's on the cliff and Steven's like, Mark, what the hell were you just doing? Mm. There was 2 dead bodies on the ground, which was both the adults, and then he had the kid.
Okay, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Just to run through the episode very quick, we just got to meet a lady who helped forge identifications for Layla.
Lagara.
Kind of sounds like Mom.
I think it might be a Mom.
Yeah.
I can't just go off looks,
mom,
but it's. I mean, she knew about the father, and was kind of making sentence structures that would sound like a wife talking about her husband and what he was like for her daughter. Yeah. Might not be true, but they might be in the same industry as well, which is why, they're doing this together. Mark, we picked up with the fight, like we talked about. We might have a third entity.
Yeah.
That might be more dangerous, or there could be more. I don't know.
I love Khonshu. I keep fucking that name up. I love his aesthetic. Yeah. It looks really good. He's really awesome. Good.
Are you gonna listen to the bloody pigeon?
I don't like his fucking neck though. Whatever is holding his head there creeps me the fuck out. It looks like the white stuff that the guy used to restrain him. The jism.
Am I missing that wrong?
What are you talking about?
The white stuff that the guy in the suit, when he restrained...
the plasma.
The
white
glowing
like plasma that he used
that
to
looks like what's his holding his head? Jism.
Plasma.
I love it.
I'll use plasma. I'll use plasma for that one. I think it's just like strings, like not bales of hay, but it's like, I don't know,
I don't know. His head looks like
ectoplasm.
His head looks like it's just floating to me, honestly.
This one today, it looked like it was floating. The other episode was very more clear, where it looked like it was like connecting to his armor to make sure it doesn't float away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I want to ask so many fucking questions.
I mean, keep going.
Khonshu. He was a god. He is a god.
He is a god. He was banished.
Banished for what?
They didn't specifically say. Probably just being we've seen him. He's a dick. It
doesn't seem like he follows the rules very well of whatever the gods like.
Yeah.
Agree.
It's kind of like he isn't Loki per se, but like he does his own thing.
He the MoonKnight, or is MoonKnight something that he controls?
He gives the
suit, the healing suit. He called it.
Yeah. Like he allows that suit to be like something given, like
he gives it strength, essentially.
A gift bestowed. He reminds me like Gandalf. Like you have the Elder Council, and then you have Gandalf, who kind of just goes and does what he wants with the world because he has his own rules and regulations, and he might think that the High Up Council is too strict or lazy, or
they don't care, or not involved.
Too indifferent, and he wants to be more involved.
Yeah.
Has Steven said anything about Khonshu? Like, oh, that's the god of this.
The moon. The god of the moon or something?
Moon?
The moon god?
Defender of the moon?
I mean, he's like talked to Khonshu, but he's never like stated specifically like, oh, you're the... whatever.
Mark said to Steven that like Khonshu and himself, the MoonKnight, their goal is to enact justice and to help those who
after somebody who committed something. The punishment is after. Yeah. Versus the Amet is before they commit it.
Yeah, Anet is like, I think that's why you could maybe say Anet's more like Loki or like Lucifer, like somebody who like not only is breaking the rule but like has a completely different ideology from maybe the rest of the gods.
There has to be a
Hades.
We three have to have seen a movie where that concept is a thing, where we live in a society that is monitoring us, and we know one day, oh, they're gonna make a bad decision, whack them.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Yes, actually, yes.
That was the whole concept about the ship that they're using.
Shield, yeah.
Was that Winter Soldier? I'm sorry.
Yes, it was.
The ship is Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole thing was that they were going to eliminate targets before they did anything because they like were taking in like their social media data and like their history and deciding like these were like the bad guys.
I can think of an anime and another show that I've seen that has the exact same concept. Just want to say that.
Yeah.
Harrow has made his way to Cairo as well with his cult. It looks like they're digging in search for on its grave site.
What's that actor's name?
Ethan Hawke.
He's good because I don't fucking like him. When he's on screen, he annoys me.
Oh, I like him.
I don't like him. He's good at playing this character.
Well, other than his...
Fuck, he's smart, too.
Before judging, like, the judge all before they get to, like, make bad choices, other than that part, he's a pretty convicting individual. Like, just him talking about Khonshu tormenting him and whatever things may or may not have occurred that made Harrow so despairing or...
His torture forged him.
Yeah. I would just like to know, like, how much of that is true. I mean, he seems pretty broken. He seems pretty, like, newfound in his persona. So, like, how much of that is true? How much is Khonshu actually responsible, if it is true? Obviously, like I said, I don't agree with what his current stance is, but I can at least, like, empathize with maybe his brokenness, if it's accurate.
I wonder if he's trying to resurrect Emmett to get revenge on Khonshu, because Khonshu punishes people after you've done something horrible. Khonshu supposedly did something horrible to Harrow, but since he's the god of that, why would he punish himself? So maybe he's getting Emmett to enact revenge on Khonshu.
Well, his whole, in the first episode, and last episode too, his whole ideology is that, like, they're trying to rid the world of evil and pain by killing people before they do something bad. So, like, instead of, like, waiting till Sam turns 50 and, like, murders this dude, let's just kill Sam now, because we know it's going to happen. Because Amit, whatever the name is, like, they know that it's going to happen in the future, so let's just stop it now.
Right.
So like, it's more so that. I don't think it's, like, a revenge thing against Khonshu. But it's also, I think it is, like, a legitimately how he feels, though, Ethan Hawke, Harrow, because, like, why... He said that his greatest sin and the thing he bears the most is the pain and all the pain he's caused and all the killing he's done under Khonshu. And he was like, and the fact that I loved it.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, I would assume, he didn't say it directly, but that's what I would assume why he wears... or, you know, has broken glass in his shoes. Like he's atonement. Yeah, he's atoning for his sins every day of his life.
Fuck.
So, like, I would imagine that, like, at least his speech to Khonshu right there is, like, legit, because...
It's like Bishop Heyman, old, like, flogging yourself, or flagellation.
Self-flagellating?
Some one of those words. Like, self-pain.
Is that masturbation?
We've talked about this before on Vikings, because I think I said the accurate one last time, and then you go, is that masturbation? Literally word for word.
We had this conversation.
Flatulating just sounds like jagging.
Flatulence, I think, is farting.
Flatulence is farting.
Regardless. He's just doing the thing of, like, I'm going to take the pain upon myself as, like, my own...
Payment.
Debt to the things I've done.
Yeah. But... Mark is trying to, you know, get Khonshu ideas of, like, what to do, because they're basically at the tomb. Khonshu decides to call upon the gods and ask for an assembly by creating an eclipse, which they all were not happy about, so they all teleported to one of the pyramids in Giza, in a little, like, temple room where all the gods were able to discuss what was going on.
The eclipse, I thought he was turning day to night at first, but then it was just the eclipse.
He was just causing an eclipse.
The secret entrance.
Yeah, Khonshu and Mark went through a portal to this world, and they discussed Harrow and what Harrow is doing, and they called Harrow to trial and just summoned him right there. Which is funny, because Harrow knew it was happening. Because before, when the eclipse happened, and he was like, keep digging, no matter what happens, I'm going to get summoned soon. When he said that, I was like, what is he talking about? But he already knew what was going to happen.
And they cannot judge him, because he has yet to do anything evil yet. He has not done the thing that would...
They also don't have any proof. Which I was like, bruh, just ask him to show the scarab. Like, that's the easiest fucking proof. Like, I don't know. That was one thing. I was like, Khonshu is just so dumb. Like, you have at least one thing that you could be like, he stole this from me, and I tried taking it back, and he's killed people and taken it.
Yeah, the trial was kind of shitty, even not on Khonshu's part, just the gods themselves not asking the right questions, just being very one-sided.
Do we know where the scarab came from?
No. Mark stole it from...
Because I was going to say, he could have just said... Harold could have just said, I had it first, but he stole it from me.
Yeah, but it's not the point that he stole it, but that this is like a beacon, a compass that points you
on it
to the tomb.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Help the people.
But anyways, he has the scarab, so it helps, guide the way to the tomb. It's like, well, clearly he's trying to bring, homegirl back because he has this thing that's going to lead him to him. It's not a coincidence, but decided not to bring that up. Mark and Layla then met back up because Mark got tipped off by one of the gods. I forget her name.
The one with love and melody or music.
Love and music and all that. That he needs to find Senfu's sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Because he is the only person that knew where the tomb was located.
Right. Ran into Layla.
Layla decided to take him on a ride to this collector that owns Senfu's sarcophagus.
Yeah.
A nice, on the black market.
Kind of a sad moment, like her talking about the reason their relationship ended up faltering and kind of explaining oh, I didn't know you were dealing with Steven this whole time. Which is kind of just crazy to think that from here on out, knowing that might not be a possibility to close back up the personalities. Just imagine having to live your life with your husband and then having to relive certain experiences or understandings so that the other personalities can try to get close and on board with the original relationship. Because you look at Steven showing up, it's like a brand new kid who just found the most beautiful woman in the world, who has none of the same experiences that Mark and Layla have.
Yeah.
And later on in the episode, she started looking at him with interest, but then remembering Mark's just going to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other
that has to suck.
The other thing, too, is that, the way they had that conversation on the boat ride is that there really isn't a relationship. There is no relationship anymore. They were already on the verge of getting divorced. Apart from signing the dotted line, you know what I mean. So there is no more chance for that. But it sucks because then you see Layla look at Steven and be like, man, this is the guy I could have been with.
Yeah,
but can't be.
And I wonder how much of the divorce was as a result of Mark just having to keep the secret.
Well, that's what
does he not have any interest in her?
Right. That's what I wanted to ask the question: why get married to her?
Well, he's pushing her away to keep Khonshu away from her.
That too.
I think that's the whole. I don't think that Mark doesn't care about her. I think it's I'm clearly too much for any one human being to handle. Because I'm 15 human beings in one. So I'm gonna push her away. Also keep Khonshu away from her. I wonder if the way this works is that whoever Khonshu's avatar is at the time needs to be near. I'd be curious because Harrow knows so much about what happened with Mark and that murder in the archaeological spot, and I know I've just thrown in the idea that that's when Mark almost died too. It was way too recent. But I don't know. I how does Khonshu, because Mark makes it seem like Layla can just be somewhere else and Khonshu won't get to her because he's not there. Because the whole thing is that Khonshu wants her as the next avatar after Mark.
Yeah.
So Mark is an anchor.
Yeah. Well, because last episode, Harrow said Khonshu has no real control in this world.
Yeah.
He can't do anything to harm you or harm anyone else. He can change the elements and blow some wind and knock over a table. He's done that stuff a poltergeist. But he can't actually do things. So
this episode kind of changed that.
Well,
seems like he got in trouble though, so it's not like he has full.
Yeah. As soon as he did it, he was punished. But
it's like, how long can a little kid get away with putting paint on the wall before the parents show up?
Yeah, but Layla, Mark doesn't want Layla to become an avatar. So he's trying to keep her away, and like that's the reason for the whole divorce portion of it, like to keep it away. So I'm just curious as to like how does Khonshu, like does he have to be like if Sam's the avatar and walks into a hospital and there's some dude that's like on the verge of death on their deathbed, can Khonshu just be like, all right, tap out, tap in, and just swap avatars? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also like with the agreement, it seems like there's supposed to be an endpoint for the MoonKnight, and that would be the ending of Heroine on it, but why would he even have his eyes on Layla if that's supposed to be the end point with Mark?
Yeah.
Like, that, there's some lie about what Khonshu's up to. It doesn't seem like there is an end point. Maybe it's an end point for Steven and Mark, and then it continues going to other people until, I don't know, like it's just an ever-fueling thing that needs to enact justice. Debt by person by debt. Just exactly like you said, just goes to a bunch of dead bodies. Hey, I brought you back. You owe me your life. Servanthood forever.
Yeah.
Until I say otherwise.
Yeah.
What happens if he's done his debt with Mark and Mark just flops dead to the ground? Maybe the only reason they have life is because Khonshu is part of them.
Well, that's the cliffhanger at the end of this episode, is that when Khonshu gets taken away, Steven/Mark loses their power, and now they're unconscious on the ground. I would imagine, considering the show's going to go on, that he's probably still going to be alive. I can't imagine he's going to be dead for the next, 3 episodes or whatever, however many more we get. But yeah, so they investigated the sarcophagus, found out it had to do with the constellations. Harrow shows up, snitches on the whole operation, adds a divide between Layla and Mark, throwing the whole, why Layla really left. Mark knows, like Mark was involved with her dad's death in some type of way. Like, that was what was being insinuated, but Mark was like, no, don't worry about it. He's just trying to play mind games with us. The MoonKnight came back. I'm glad, even though it was very brief, that we got the Spectre suit or whatever. Or like Steven's suit.
Yeah.
The suit version, that was...
I just like seeing the cape fully expanded.
That too.
And his use of the moon knives.
Yeah.
And Layla's was even more impressive, breaking off her necklace and shoving it into the guy's chest.
I think it was like a hidden blade.
Yeah, it might have like had point. I think the ends that like go into each other to keep it intact are also like the blade or something.
Yeah. And then...
Real quick. We don't know what Khonshu wants. Just, he wants Layla to be the next avatar.
He doesn't want Amit to come back to life. Amit, whatever, mortal enemy.
Okay.
Bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the whole reason, like, we're doing all this, like, fighting.
Okay.
They go to the desert, in the middle of the desert, and start looking at the constellations. Mm-hmm. Steven takes over to figure out, they put it together the right way and found what stars are in the sky and how they're supposed to find where they're going. Problem is, it's from 2,000 years ago, so the stars are not aligned like they used to be.
I just liked that.
That was one of the most breathtaking scenes.
Oh, the colors flopping over. I love that everybody could see it, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a hidden thing. The world is experiencing that. I mean, all our heroes across the globe.
How's that not... He basically turned back time, but he didn't. That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe it was like shoving a memory into the worldview. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe that, because you would think that would shift how the Earth even works if it actually was like literally happening. But you can just make it easy and just say magic. A temporary halt on how the world works, magic.
Yeah. And then the gods put Khonshu in stone, imprisoned him, and stripped him from Steven. And Steven passed out, now no longer has the powers of the suit.
Yeah.
And then Harrow was at the temple and got his little, like, honestly, this is all because of you, so be thankful for yourself.
PC.
Shit. But yeah. I mean, that was the episode at that point.
Yeah. I'm just looking forward to meeting a bit more personalities, seeing how, like, chemistry-wise they handle dealing with Steven and Mark.
Yeah.
Two who already have a very interesting chemistry, one being a little bit more flamboyant and overexcitable, and the other one being very, like, kind of like talking to a wall.
Yeah.
So I want to know what, like, the other type of personalities will bring to the circle, and then how that will also affect Layla.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm super excited. This has been a blast, and I'm ready for more.
I have a theory.
Say
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Do
Okay.
it.
Yeet! What if one of the personalities is a follower of Emmett?
Like a loyalist?
Yeah, that's why they were trying to kill those 3 guys.
Maybe. Don't leak out the information. Kill anyone who might know. Just like Hera broke the coffin.
That would be bad.
That would be bad. That would be seriously bad.
I don't even know how you combat that. Honestly.
We gotta figure out whatever Mark did to hide some of the personalities.
That's like, could like the Egyptian gods take Stephen, whatever the fuck his name is, and put him into... That's stupid. Never mind.
Alright, y'all.
It's not like they have just a
body.
I'm just a body.
Just
oh, Steven!
Just throw every personality into every person in the hospital.
That'd be cool if we could do that.
That'd be a little insane. Y'all.
It'd help a lot of people.
Maybe. If you made it this far in this video.
Real quick, a child painting his walls in his parents' house could totally get away with it. His parents were blind.
That's so fucked.
Y'all, if you enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content. Make sure you leave a comment down below what you thought of episode 3, The Friendly Type. If you want to check out some of our other shows, we have them. Check out the playlists and the schedule if you want to know when things come out. Or you can check the Patreon and get things early. But for the time being, we will see you in episode 4. Ponche!
On the road to 50K.